question from Johnny Smith on YouTube, and he's curious about adding some of the techniques that he's seen in my drilling videos to his game, but he's not sure if he should focus on time-based drilling or repetition-based drilling. So Johnny, thanks for the question, dude. And let me start by saying that the focus, whether repetitions or time, is really going to depend on where you are in the learning stage. And some of the information I'm going to share is, it's neat because sometimes science doesn't always match up with what people are in the field, the people doing the things, what they think. It doesn't always match up. But in this case, like the things that I've learned from almost 20 years of grappling, and then the thoughts that I've basically taken in from different lectures or books or things like, or studies that I've read about, they match up pretty well. And so the basic overview is that in the beginning, start with short amounts of repetitions. And then once you get that movement set, move in towards time-based drilling. And so here's the sort of the thoughts on that. In the beginning, we all know that the idea of learning a new movement, a lot of times it's very intense. It's a very cognitive process. It takes a lot of mental focus to piece together this new movement. You can think about when someone walks in for their very first day of training, right? Let's say their coach shows a scissor sweep. They don't know what a scissor sweep is. So what they have to do is they have to take other movement patterns that their body's learned throughout its life to piece that thing together. So reach out and grab the collar. Well, we can grab, right? We know how to grab stuff. Pull the sleeve. Okay, twist the hips. We can do that. And it pieces all these things together and then eventually sets in place a new movement pattern, which becomes the scissor sweep. Now, initially that movement pattern is not very consistent. It's not reliable. It may not even be correct. So again, that's kind of a tough process to go with. So in the beginning, I think that it's smart to do the repetitions. Again, you're focused on a small number, maybe 3, 5, maybe 10, and then let your partner go or get some feedback from your partner. Hey, did that feel correct? Talk to your coach, get feedback from them. Hey, coach, was that good? And this way, what you can do is you can sort of set in place that pattern and make sure that it's correct. Also, by doing a short amount of repetitions, you can kind of take a step back. Sometimes like we all know, sometimes like when you're learning something, it can almost be frustrating because you're like, damn it, I can't get the damn thing going, right? So you can sort of shake it off, clear your head, come back fresh. If you're doing some of the solo drills, just do the repetitions and then take a step back, let your body recoup so you can come in with a fresh head and then do it again. Now, once the movement's set and you know it's correct from the feedback you've gotten from your coach or from your partner, whatever, and you know the movement's pretty correct, and it doesn't take too much thought to execute, then we move into the time-based drilling. And so time-based, and you have to be specific about this too, is the reason we're doing this is because we're trying to eliminate as many other things that could be going through our head as possible and just allowing our mind to be clear so that we can focus on doing the external objective of the technique, the movement, right? And the reason we're doing this is because they found through studies that when people have these movement patterns that they've learned and that they can do automatically, when they start to get other focuses or other things coming in there, other stimuluses, right, other thoughts, it makes that movement difficult. Make sense? And this is why, obviously, you can think about why when you start rolling the movement, you might be able to drill it, and then you do it during a roll. It can be tough, and this is where you start to inject different forms of resistance, but that's another story. Anyway, getting back to it, when we are doing the time-based drilling, we're limiting the focus on repetitions because, again, we're not going for some small number of repetitions. When you're drilling, you're aiming for hundreds and thousands of reps overall, and so that's a big number to keep track of, so we don't want to be thinking about that, right? Instead, we want to just be drilling and focusing on the movement. If you want to keep track of the reps, have your partner count for you quietly, and this allow yourself to focus on what you're doing. Likewise, if I set the timer, I want to have a round timer. I don't want to look back at the clock and say, hey, have I done my 2 minutes yet or whatever. You want to say, okay, I'm going to do X amount of rounds and then just have that timer. So this way what you can do is you can press the start button, you start moving and getting the drills, and you're just getting caught up in your rhythm, focusing on the movement, and then you can switch top to bottom, or again, if the solo drills, you take your break or whatever it is you plan to do. And I've noticed the benefit from this with my own training. I've noticed a change in the way that I drill, the effectiveness of the drills that I'm doing, and how well I hit them when I'm rolling, and the amount of reps I get even during the drills. I'm moving at a faster pace because, again, my mind is focused on just one thing. It's just focused on doing this movement over and over and over again. I'm not thinking about how many reps did I do? Oh, is it time yet? I'm just focusing on the movement at hand. And again, you can think about, in martial arts where they'll say mind, no mind. Essentially what we're doing is we're just trying to clear our head of everything else and just focusing on that movement so that we can make it more effective, so that we can hit it when we're rolling. So I think that's it. Johnny, I hope this helps you, brother. So start with repetitions. Once the movement is set, you feel comfortable with it, move into time, and then sort of develop that movement even further.